Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Level Up with Jeanne Marie, and we are here sharing information about higher vibrational energies and things that raise your vibration and raises consciousness on the planet. So I am here in Kauai, Hawaii, at my center, Dolphin Touch Wellness Center. And we offer massage, Reiki, intuitive readings, personal retreats, group retreats, and spiritual journeys for people here on Kauai. We also do distant work and energy work and help people with classes and workshops online and in person. And we have been here since 9909, so 14 years. We've been singing and dancing and playing in here. And because I have this center, I have the fortunate ability to meet people. And sorry, we have an ambulance going on, but we have the fortunate ability to meet people from all over the world. And because of the center, I got to meet Marie, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and share what she knows.
Thank you. Aloha, everyone. So I'm Marie McNeal, and oh my gosh, Jeannie, I don't know. It's been a long time. I met you a long time ago.
I can't even remember the first time we met. That's why I'm like, how did we meet?
I remember I came to your center for massages with my niece, I think, the very first time I came, and then I just kept coming ever since. So I am an intuitive, and I am very, very interested in raising the consciousness on the planet. So I'm an author, speaker. I lead programs and retreats, and I've led them around the world for probably about since 1999 was, I think, the first. So it's been a while.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm excited to talk to you and share information, like you said, with everyone about your Dolphin Touch Wellness Center and retreats and, whatever raise the vibration of the planet.
Yay. So
Yeah.
you have a number of programs that you offer. And one of the things we did do together was a YouTube channel that you have, and you shared that with me and interviewed me and some other people. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Good Global Vibes. So it's Good Global Vibes. So I created this YouTube channel. I actually had this idea for like 10 years, and I kept thinking, I want to interview people who are doing good things around the world, because I think it's missing in all the information that's put on TV. So around 2020, I started working on it. It was at the end of 2019, I started working on it. I launched it in 2020, kind of perfect timing. Everybody was home. And I started interviewing people around the world who were doing good things, because one of the things I know is that when you focus on what works, you'll get more of what works. So I interviewed, you and intuitives. I interviewed people from Hungary. People who were doing good things in the medical field, healing people. I interviewed people on Oahu, all over, people just all over the world. There was someone on from London. And the whole purpose was just to show people that there are people doing good things in your area, and you can join in, and you can also support them. And you can also have that in your awareness that there's not just things that don't work, which is what you get, kind of most of the information you get on news broadcasts. So I wanted to kind of also balance it out and show you, look at all these other things that are happening in the world, and all these people who are doing good things, from movie makers to intuitives to just the regular everyday person. It's really great. And I'm still doing that.
Yeah, that's great. No, I think it's a great program and great idea. I think it's interesting how we have that similarity, like we want to raise the vibration of the planet. We feel this calling or this draw to shift consciousness in a way that we can control. Because a lot of times, what's really sad is that we feel out of control. We feel like we don't have abilities to change the way things are going in some negative direction that we don't want it to go in. And by doing these kind of things, we're taking back our power, and we're able to say, no, that's not where I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to focus on the crash or this happening or that happening or the dollar falling or whatever. I'm going to focus on the positive things that are happening in the world and the good things that are out there. And tell me a little bit about how that feels to you. How does
Well,
that resonate with you about the need to shift that?
yeah. So for me, I meditate a lot and I listen deeply. Like I'm clairsentient. I can feel things sometimes days before they come. That's one of the things that is like anything in life, it could be a catch 22. But when I feel into things, I can tell when things are calling me forth, right? They're calling me forth, like you said, like I just surrender to what calls me and I get into action. And this happened to me at a very young age when I didn't. And I was 26, I got hit by a car, and
Hmm.
I kept asking God for a break, and I got a break all right for a year and a half. And it sounds tragic, but it actually shifted my life to a positive direction, much more spiritual, really positive path ever since then. But now when I hear it, I share that because now when I hear the call, I'm on it. Like there's there's no more hesitating for me. And so for me, when I hear the call, I'm just like, okay, I'm here to be of service. I did have this mentor. I've taken lots of different things, healing modalities and self-development work. And I had this mentor once that said a great leader is someone who does what's needed when it's needed, right? Like
Hmm.
you look what's needed in the space. And
Right.
so whenever it comes to me, if something's needed, I just get into action about it, even if I don't know how to do it. I just start asking, and it just kind of reveals itself.
Yeah, you had quite an interesting journey in your life, right? I mean, I'd like to hear more about the accident and how you shifted. I mean, you could have gone into very severe depression over what happened, and how did you turn that around?
Well, what I did is, this was before any self-development work, honestly. And I just started reading everything I could. I actually read the Bible twice from cover to cover. I read Conversations with God, all three books. Back then, that's what was I think new. I read the Bible Code. I read Louise Hay's book. I found Louise Hay's book. That when I found that book, I lead Louise Hay courses today, and I'm leading an inner child workshop on August 3rd and 4th. And it's because that book really just transformed me. I had had a hole in my spine, and they told me all these things that would happen to me, and I refused to believe them. I
Mm.
said, I'm not interested in that happening to me. Just tell me how to get better. I don't know where I got this as a 26-year-old, but I just knew it. And I said, please don't tell me your opinions. Just tell me how to get better. And my mom thought I was a pistol. She was like, honey, you are a pistol. So I focused on the book. I wrote affirmations every day. I just kept walking, but I also was forced to stop my life for a year and a half. And I discovered these gifts that I had been pushing down and pretending I didn't have
Mm.
because I was embarrassed. And, everyone had their opinions of people who were that intuitive and clairvoyant and this and that. And so then I began on this journey of discovering myself, and I didn't stop. I haven't stopped even today. It's still a discovery. But that's how I did it. I just focused on spirituality. I started meditating. I did have a meditation teacher before that, and that really did help me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in 1995, I started studying meditation and angels because I was fascinated by angels and the metaphysical realm.
Mm.
So when I get hit by a car, she came to my house every day and she would help me because I was kind of scared of it back then. I was like, I don't want this, blah, blah, blah. And she taught me how to manage it in a way where I could just be a regular human being and have, clairvoyance and clairsentient like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that must have been hard. I like to call it coming out of the closet because it's yeah, I know when I told people that I connect with the energy and vibration of dolphins, I channel the dolphins, I connect with the energy of that they possess, and they're like, what? Yeah. I mean, I did have some people when I opened my center turn around and like, okay, yeah, this not for me. But now it's funny because you wait for the world to catch up to you. And now when I tell them what I do, they're like, wow, that's really cool. You connect with dolphins, you channel dolphins, you feel their energy and share their energy. So it's like totally different mindset than when it was when you were in your 20s.
For sure.
So I was wondering, like, you've had a lot of ups and downs in your life, but you've tapped into, and maybe it's through Louise Hay, the prosperity element, and you've become very successful, and and can you tell us that journey a little bit that you went through?
Yeah. I've taken a lot of modalities, but basically the affirmation part of it is 100% from Louise Hay. That's where I discovered affirmations. But I also did a lot of other things that kind of is why I'm leading this course called Connected Creators Code today, so that I can. I woke up one day and I realized what I did, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I want to give it away to other people." So I always say it's because I'm a double Capricorn, because my sun and moon. And so I have this way in my mind of organizing life so that I can manifest whatever I want. So how I did that is way back, okay, I took a trip around the world by myself for 8 months out of the country, right? In 2005. And
Mm,
in 2005, I'm certain of this because I was in Australia when the Law of Attraction book came out. It
mm,
was like 2006 something, but they couldn't get in Australia, but it was all over America. And when it came out, I was like, I already know that. Like, I already knew about the Law of Attraction. I was already practicing it. And so as that came out, I started realizing, like, why aren't people looking at all these other laws in the universe? So I started delving into all of the laws of the universe. And then I started studying metaphysics and quantum physics and all of these things. And I went to the Institute of Conscious Living for 4 years, and I led this program for them for 4 years. And then I wrote my own coaching program because I realized, and this is how I became successful. This is really part of my story, is I did it to myself. And then when it worked, then I wanted to give it away, right?
mm.
So I realized that we as human beings reach out for answers all the time. We're
Yes.
always reaching out here instead of reaching in. So I wrote a whole coaching program to turn people in. And at that point, I had hundreds of clients. And I wrote a program to turn them in, like, go in. Don't look at me for the answers. Look in, and then I'll guide you and make sure, because I can feel that when you're on track and when you're not. I'll guide you through the fear because I can see beyond the fear when you can't. That was one of the things I was really, really great at, is when people were scared, I'm like, no, it's okay. That's made up. That's your mind. You keep going. You're going in the right direction, like that. So that was one of the things that kind of was like my expertise in my coaching program in 2000, around 8, was kind of the highlight of that. And then as that went on, I have all these practices I do, and I just kept going and creating. I just literally realized that I am at the source of my life with God, and I create every single thing that happens. And once I got to the source of that, recently, this just happened last year. I woke up one day and I said, okay, God, with all the tools I have at this point in my life, how can I best serve humanity? How can I move humanity forward?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? Because I have all these ideas, but like, what can I do? And so that's when I kind of got shown this box. Humanity's in a box. When you're for or against something, it's more of the same box. Some people call it the matrix or whatever. And they're like, teach them how to create new paradigms. Teach. And I was in a meditation. I wasn't sleeping. And I opened my eyes and said, oh my gosh, I know how to create. And that was it. I went to work on it. And I said, that's it. I'm going to teach people to create new paradigms, because that's not where to focus. Where to focus is creating a new. And then, I realized that quote, I think it's Albert Einstein, where it's like, you can't fix problems from the same way of thinking.
Yeah.
You have to have something new. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what, I'm being shown. So I literally wrote the whole program, connected creators code. It's a 30-day Zoom. You get a workbook like that. And, there's coursework to do every week. And I led it to a mastermind group I'm in of these people who are all very successful. And they thought it was like, wow, how did you figure this out? One of the guys was like, man, you're a force of nature, right? And I started laughing. I said, I don't know, this is how my mind works. I have to align myself to the universe to be successful. And so that's really how it happened for me. This is how I did it. And I didn't realize I wasn't sharing with the world exactly how I got myself to be successful. So I put it in this package. It's a 30-day thing. And then I launched it in January. I'm leading another one on July 22nd on Mondays. Sorry. And yeah, and that's really how I've done it. And anything I want, I just follow that same method.
So tell us a little bit more. So you say, so in January 22nd, here we are in June. So
July 22nd starts.
July 22nd, I was going to say.
Yeah.
And then what is it? So you meet every Monday on a Zoom call together with this group, or how does it work?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a course. So it's a 30-day, I call it a 30-day intensive connected creators code to manifest what you want in your life. And it meets on Mondays for 2.5 hours. And then in between the Mondays, there's different things, there's different practices to do, and you have a workbook to do them in. And I literally show you exactly the code, how to align yourself with the universe. I literally show it to you exactly what I do. And if you're willing to do it, like I had in the course someone who's never done self-development in her life. She was a nurse. She was just going into a different field of healing, like Reiki healing. And then I've had people who have done tons of self-development, work for 20 years and everything in between, and they all got it. They all got it by the end. They all understood it and manifested what they want out of the course. So it's very practical. It's not just, here are the laws of the universe, here's what I do. It's very practical as a human being, where it's like steps to take and everything, right?
Wow. And then they get a workbook too, huh?
Yeah, you get a workbook too. So
And
yeah,
if they
because
can't follow with you live, they can get a replay or something like that.
Yeah. When people do it, at first I wasn't going to do that. I always have to get the agreement with everyone who's in the course, because, we're all in it together and we're sharing things so that they can be, guided in the right direction, and everybody learns from everyone who shares, kind of like that sort of group effort thing. And I did a workbook in person that I mailed to you, because I realized that if people are on Zoom with me, they can't possibly be doing a workbook, typing on, the computer. So it's kind of like, we made a live workbook so people can use it.
Wow, that sounds
the future.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so where can they find out about that?
theconnectedcreatorscode.com. So it's literally connectedcreatorscode.com. You can go
Connected
there.
ed
Yeah,
creatorscode.com. Okay.
yeah. And they can also call me. They can also text me or DM me. I have Connected Creators Code on Instagram, or Marie McNeal, right?
Mhm.
Everyone called too. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And so you were inspired to create this course based on, spirit. You're asking spirit. It's so funny you say that because I did the same thing when COVID hit. I was like, okay, spirit, what can I do to turn this around? Because there was so much fear consciousness on the planet when COVID hit. And everybody was afraid to touch anybody, afraid to talk to anybody. And it was like looming like a cloud in the air. There was so much density. And I was like, okay, what can we do to turn this around? What can I do as a healer and supporter? And the thing I got was go back to the basics and teach Reiki. Reiki was, I like to call it the entry drug to my spiritual journey of healing. And I did it online and I did it in person here in Kauai. And it was, yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now I'm being called to expand that into connecting people to the energy and vibration of the dolphin and how they can also access that information and connect to that energy and come up with that. And then I'm creating these dolphin oracle cards because I thought, well, how can we reach the masses, right? How can we
Yeah.
send word out to other people? And and I love oracle cards. I had no idea it'd be as much work as it is, but yes, we had so much fun creating it, and that should be launching very soon, definitely before Christmas. But your book, you said you were an author. Did you write a book?
Yeah, my book. So I wrote a few workbooks that are out way back in the day, Destiny by Design. But right now I am, as intending to have my book out by the end of the year. And the book is about my trip around the world and how I transformed my relationship to men, money, and the unknown.
Oh, lovely. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's been a long journey. I intended to write a book about 10 years ago, but my book was more of a self-help book. And I went to a couple writers' workshops and I realized, oh, maybe I don't want to write it like this. And then my editor lost my entire book.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it talk about a roller coaster, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, what is this about? Right? That's kind of like when breakdowns happen or things happen, I'm just like, all right, okay, I guess I'm being redirected. Now what? Right? So
Right.
then, she interviewed me, we kind of redid it, and now we're on the right path now. So, you know, I'm waiting for the first draft, and then my fingers are crossed that it's published by the end of the year, like around the holiday time too. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you see for the future right now? What do you see, Marie? What do you, when what do your guides tell you?
well, it's very interesting you asked me today of all days because, you know, there's times when I will say you as us as human beings can really get caught up in the negativity and everyone's opinions of what will happen. And recently I literally experienced heaven on earth. I was in bliss for it was gosh, maybe 15 days. And I went to Tahiti. I think I told you about this to Barbara. And there is some energy there that I feel the world is raising its vibration to. That's what I really feel. Now it's going to take something. It's going to take all of the human beings doing what they're here to do, right? Like whatever you feel called to do, stepping up and being called to do it. Um, and unfortunately, the people who aren't being called to do it or aren't listening, I think there's some raising going on. And it's hard to say or hard to tell who's all gonna come, right? Like I think the raising of I think the planet is raising its vibration.
For sure.
And yeah, and I think that it's a matter of us being in rhythm with nature, um, to be able to raise with the planet. And I think one of the things I have said before, and I know maybe this is my human side talking, but I want to take as many people with me. I want as many people to come as possible. And I know that's not for me to say, right? Like it's not for me to say, but like that's in my nature to contribute to the world but I can see that there is there is a magical future that is unfolding before us. And in my Connected Creators Code, one of the things I see is like your words create your future. They create your reality. So you can live in the reality that you choose. And when you get that, there's more wiser choices that you will make. I'll just say that. When I got that to my core, the choices I made were much different. The words that come out of my mouth, I am much more conscious of than I've ever been.
Mm.
And I think that is what's going to get, the people who are conscious and everyone else to raise their vibration with the planet.
So tell me about Tahiti and Bora Bora. What was it that was so magical?
Well, because I feel energies, and I'm clairsentient, it really, I've been to a lot of places in the world. I've been to more than 35 countries. And this was the first time I ever felt like I was in a whole different world. Like it was this joyful, magical, easy, the animals welcome you. Like they're happy you're there. I swam with black tip sharks, stingrays, and I wasn't afraid they were going to sting me. And they were following me around. And I was like so happy. And I was like, wow, these animals are so happy. I could feel them. We had dolphins that were like swimming with us. And I was like I was like jumping, they were jumping, right? And it was like amazing, amazing fish everywhere. Like they were coming up to you. You know how normally I've also snorkeled in many places around the world. Australia, the Great Barrier Reef, in Egypt, the Black Hole, everywhere. But usually you go towards fish and the fish run away. These fish weren't running away. They were just like, they'll let you touch them. And I'm like, this is wild. It was really this magical thing that you couldn't even wrap your mind around how special and
Mm.
it's sweet. The birds even we saw these blue birds coming to us and just sitting by us. And I was like, hi. Like it was like being Snow White. And it wasn't just me, it was everyone who was with me, right? So it wasn't anything special to me. It is special to this place. And we were on the water most of the time. But that's, there is the energy there. It's like you're going into another world.
Wow.
Really, I think everyone needs to go there. Bring
That
that
sounds
energy, bring the
amazing.
future energy back here.
I just got back from Shasta and we had an amazing experience there as well. And yeah, I think there is certain Mount Shasta in California, Kauai here, of course,
Yes.
I feel the same here. But it's like there's certain places on the planet that just, I think they're in fifth dimension already. They're in new earth
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
They're
Yes.
in that space and you could feel it energetically and you go there and you have these magical experiences that you just don't have in other places. It's just it like the veils are lifted and like what you say, you manifest your reality. you do it there, whatever you say, whatever you put out to the universe, it responds. And that's what the thing that gets me too, when I do my dolphin energetics in the ocean, I notice nature and how it shows up. And either there's a crab on the rocks, and so that's a message, you know,
Yeah.
or the turtles show up, and that's a message, or the birds flying over, and they all seem to be conscious. That's what I get. They're like looking at us, we're looking at them, but they are like seeing us as well and interacting with us or energetically connecting with us. And yeah, it's just magical when that happens.
Yeah. 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 So you totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been to Bora Bora. Now, were you doing a retreat there?
No, I would like to. I had a friend of mine from Oahu. We all got together and rented a yacht, and a captain, and he took us around the islands. So we went to Raiatea, which is the sacred island, and then we went to Taha, and that's the vanilla island, and then Bora Bora they call the honeymooners island, and then we flew back to the main island of Tahiti. They call that the big island. And yeah, that's kind of how it went. It just took us to all the different places, and we created a whole little journey, and it was really magical.
That's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
you do retreats as well, right? You do retreats?
I do, yes. I'm
I
doing.
have a very special place in my heart for retreats as well, because I really feel the transformation happens when you do retreats. So tell us about your retreat.
Well, I've led many over the years in Moab, Utah, and Sedona, and I'm very interested in. I'm putting together a goddess retreat. I'm very interested in. I'm looking at locations right now, like whether I do one in Bora Bora or I do one in California or Italy. Um, but I'm the inner child's workshop I'm doing. I'm going to do that in California on August 3rd and 4th. So retreats for me are I know what you mean, because it's like people come and there's nothing else they have to do when they just kind of are able to sink into the experience because they're also on like a little mini vacation. It really makes a difference,
Yeah.
right? Like it's kind of like I actually live like that. I do my best anyway to live in the rhythm of nature most of the time. And which is kind of the rhythm and the energy we bring to retreats, right? Where we just kind of wake up and we're present. We're so profoundly present that we're like, okay, what is there to do today inside of this context of whatever the context of the retreat is? So my thing about the goddess retreat is about women loving themselves, right? Loving themselves to the depths of their soul and owning every part of themselves, whatever it is for them, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's spiritual, whatever part of them, but calling all of themselves back to themselves, all of the parts of themselves that they may have been making wrong. And where that leads is exploring oneself, but exploring oneself in the adventure of, let's say, Italy, where there's art and food and love everywhere you look,
Yeah.
if you've been to Italy. And then I just explained Bora Bora, so it's kind of like I like to take people where I'm very much a visual person. I'm a visionary, so I like to take people to places where the vision of what they're looking at is a reflection of themselves, like
Nice.
that beauty is a reflection of themselves.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
that's awesome. All right. So tell us what you got coming up. You have something in August.
Yeah, August 3rd and 4th, I have an inner child workshop in California, Southern California, that
Okay.
I'm doing. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. And again, you could connect to me. You could text me at 818-720-0202. right? That's my number, or you could connect with me on email. You could do goodglobalvibes@gmail.com, my YouTube channel, and subscribe to that. And then I also have my Connected Creators Code program, the 30-day program to manifest anything you want in your life. And that starts on July 22nd. So it's consecutive Mondays for 2.5 hours each Monday. And then, like I said, you get a workbook. And I also have that on a website, connectedcreatorscode.com. You could check that out there. And then subscribe to Good Global Vibes. That's what we have going on.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, we have a retreat ourselves here in Kauai in October, connecting with the Lemurian energy and Lemurian activations. And that's October 28th through November 1st. And we're going to be out on the west side, staying at Plantation Cottages and enjoying that space. And there's so much, Waimea Canyon, Salt Pond, there's Poipu, there's so much energy on that side of the island. It's just totally different than where we are here in Kapa'a. So that's something we got going. We got in common. We're both doing retreats, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome.
Well, thank you, Marie, for coming
Yes.
on today. It's been lovely having you and connecting with you. I love when you come. We always have so much to talk about, whether we're in person or anywhere else. And good luck with your programs, and we'll see you next time.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jeannie. Thank you for having me. Aloha.
Thank you. Aloha.